Hello, everyone. Today, I'd like to share with you about what is Elements of Business Skills, or EBS, which we call in short. Okay, before we start, a few questions for you. Okay, how much do you think it will cost you for a one-night stay in a hotel suite like this? And why do you think retailers charge $99 instead of $100 or $179 instead of $180? And what makes Singapore such an attractive tourist destination? And what are the job duties of a doorman? And finally, what does it take to start a business? Now, if you are curious about the answers to these questions, then perhaps EBS is one of the electives you might want to consider. Okay, now what is EBS? Now, EBS essentially you study about basic marketing and customer relations concepts across three service industries, right? The three industries are the retail industry, like your 7-Eleven, your Takashimaya, what else? Your Nike, Adidas, right? The retail shops and online shops as well. Okay, then the other industry which will be covered, EBS, is travel and tourism, such as our tourist attractions, the Singapore Zoo, Universal Studios Singapore, and travel agencies such as Chan Brothers, WTS. Okay, and finally, the last industry covered in EBS is the hospitality industry, which includes the hotels, the resorts, service apartments, as well as food and beverage outlets. Okay, now, as you study across these three industries, right, you will also be building your skills, right, your skill sets such as decision-making skills, enterprising mindset, and foundational business knowledge. Okay, now, what will you learn from EBS? Okay, the EBS content is organized into 4 main units. In Unit 1, you'll learn about basic business activities. Okay, in Unit 2, marketing concepts. Unit 3, customer relations. And finally, Unit 4, you'll learn about how to develop your business investigation skills, okay, which are critical, okay, for when you do paper 2 for EBS. Now, very quickly, I will run through with you what are the 4 units, okay, under the EBS content. For Unit 1, you'll learn about what are businesses, why do business exist, what do business need in order to provide products and services to the customers. Okay, you also learn about what is competition and what are the current trends that's affecting the way businesses operate. Okay, then you will also learn about the 3 industries. Okay, the 3 industries, what are these 3 industries about, what kind of jobs are available, and what qualities do you need, right, in order to do well in these careers across these 3 industries. Right, in Unit 2, I would say it's the core of the EBS content. Okay, first of all, you learn about how to identify target customers, right? Then you learn about how to make use of the 4 Ps: product, price, place, promotion, to meet the needs and wants of these target customers. And finally, how to apply these 4 Ps, we call them marketing mix. How do you mix the 4 Ps, right, in order to perform better than your competitors? Right, next we talk about customer service, okay, customer relations. How do you communicate with your customers, right, using verbal, non-verbal, and written communication skills. Okay, and you also learn about how do you present products, okay, and close a sale. Okay, and finally, for Unit 4, you'll learn the skills of how to do online research, how to go on site to make observation, how to conduct marketing survey, right, to gather information in order for you to bring back the information to analyze how you can improve on the business by making suggestions and recommendations. Right, so this sums up the 4 units of the EBS content. Now, how will you be assessed for EBS? Okay, now all this information is taken from the SEAB website. Okay, so it's available to the general public, right? So if you are interested, you can search SEAB and key in the EBS syllabus code, which is 7066. Okay, so how will you be assessed? There will be 2 papers. Okay, paper 1, written paper, the weightage is higher than paper 2. With the overall weight, the weighting for paper 1 is 60%. Okay, it is a written paper to be taken sometime in October, right? Together with the rest of your NT written papers. Okay, within 1.5 hours, you will have to answer 4 compulsory questions, right? Which covers units 1 to 3 of the syllabus. Okay, you will have a range of question types. There will be like questions with helping words, questions requiring short answers. Okay, next, you will also, under EBS, you will have to take this paper 2 compulsory coursework. Okay, coursework is 40% of the overall weighting. You will do your coursework during curriculum time. Okay, 20 hours will take about 10 to 14 weeks. Okay, and usually we will start the coursework when you are in Sec 4, around February when you're in Sec 4, right? And coursework will usually complete by sometime in May. Okay, so coursework requires you to make use of your content knowledge and the skills acquired from units 1 to 4 of the syllabus, right? You are required to investigate one business, okay, one business, and to do, to investigate the business, to find out how you can improve on the business. Okay, so more on that later on. Right, now you'll be assessed on 3 levels of questions for EBS. Okay, the first level we call it AO1, right? Assessment Objective 1. Essentially, it tests you on knowledge and understanding of the EBS content. Okay, AO2 will test you on how you apply this content knowledge to the different scenarios given. And finally, AO3, right? It's a higher level of questioning, which tests you on how, given the information, right, how are you going to make the analysis and put forward your suggestions and recommendations. Okay, I'll illustrate what is AO1, 2, and 3 in the next few slides. Okay, now for paper 1, okay, this is how AO1 look like, right? So for example, in this case, right, the question asks about a convenience store and what are the characteristics or features of convenience store, right? Candidates just need to tick, okay? And also, these are all, content-based questions, which are quite straightforward, okay? Of course, the thing is you have to read your textbook, right, in order to answer these questions. Okay, next one, we look at AO2. AO2 are the application questions. So for example, in this case, right, let's look at part 2. Explain 2 reasons why providing quality customer service is important to 24/7 local. So you have to, look at, 24/7 local is a convenience store. So how does a convenience store provide quality customers? Why should a convenience store provide quality customer service? So you apply your knowledge of quality customer service, apply on the context, the business context, which is a convenience store, right? Then for AO3 question, right? Analysis and evaluation. So for question D over here, you need to know, okay, first of all, you must know what are the promotion techniques, right? So based on your knowledge on the various promotion techniques, you are to suggest 2 of the most relevant appropriate techniques, right? And you have to explain your choice of the promotion technique, okay? So this is AO3, analysis and evaluation. Now next, I will cover what is coursework like, right? Paper 2 coursework. Remember the 40% weighting, right? 20 hours over 10 to 14 weeks coursework. Okay, so in total, you will have 5 tasks, okay? 5 main tasks. Now for task 1 requires you to do a lot of business investigation. It requires you to design a questionnaire, Okay, conduct the questionnaire, conduct the questionnaire with your target customers. That means you have to go to the business which you're investigating, right? Give the questionnaires to the customers at the shop or at the restaurant, okay? And you have to come back and collate the data, right? And you also need to visit the shop, the business personally to jot down observation notes, take photographs of the target customers, right? So now if let's say, you should realize by now that if you want to do well in EBS, you have to be bold, you have to be daring, because you are definitely required to go down to the business, right? To conduct interviews, to make observation notes and to take photographs, okay? Then of course, your research also encompasses doing research online, right? Going on site to collect brochures, advertisements, etc. For task two mainly you are based on the information you have collected in task one. You've got to write about, write in your report what the business about and who are the customers which the business attracts. Okay, task three, essentially it's about the marketing mix, how the business make use of the 4 Ps, right, to provide goods and services to the target customers. Okay, and part B talks about how customer service is provided at the business, which means you've got to refer to the observation notes you have taken at the business, okay, in order to answer this question. Task 4 is about the competitors, so you have to be very aware of what are the trends that's affecting the business. For example, people are eating healthier food, or people are time-starved, they want more technology, right? When they go shopping, they want online shopping, home delivery, etc. So you have to be aware, right? What is happening in the real world? Okay, for 4B, 4B is basically explaining, right, how all these trends and competition will impact the business. Okay, now for task 5, okay, remember your AO3 question. Task 5, based on the information you have collected, your analyses, etc. Now you have to evaluate, right? You have to look at how you can improve the business. Okay, so basically by task 5, you are the guru of the business. So you're supposed to make recommendation on how the business can improve. Okay, so if you look at it, right, how does paper 2 coursework look like? Basically, you have to type all this in the report. Okay, I will be very frank with you. It's a very, very long report. The report can be at least 20 to 30 over pages, right? So with bearing this in mind, okay, later on I'll share with you what does it take to do well in EBS, now that you know what are the assessment requirements. Right, next. Okay, how is learning experience like for EBS? Okay, all our lessons will be conducted in the CommLab, because a big major part of our EBS learning, right, is doing online research to find out more about the businesses. Okay, and also because this EBS is really very much based on the real world context, so there will be learning journeys, okay, provided COVID, the pandemic situation is under control, right? So let me show you under normal circumstances, what is the learning experience like for EBS? Okay, so we do bring students out to the shopping malls, right? Remember, retail industry is one of the industries covered in EBS. So we do bring students out to conduct observation, right? To conduct interviews. Okay, this is at GEM. Then we also, because you remember, travel and tourism is also one of the industries, so we do go out to tourist attractions. Okay, in this case, we went out to the Singapore River for our learning journey. Okay, and also Universal Studios Singapore, right? And also, we also take part in competitions. Like recently, the students took part in this Ignite competition organized by ITE, right? And we emerged champion, right, for one of the segments. Okay, so this is how EBS learning experience like in and outside the classroom. Okay, now how to do well in EBS, okay? Given the demands of coursework and paper one, right? You have seen samples of the questions. You definitely have to have very good command of English, okay? In order for you to understand the question and in order for you to answer, to respond, right, meaningfully to the questions, okay? And you know that coursework is will be taking place during curriculum time, so full attendance in school is really a must, okay? Because once you are absent, unless you have an MC, right, we cannot make up, right, the time you have lost in because we have to keep strictly to the 20 hours of coursework time, right? And next, you definitely have to have that huge sense of curiosity and interest in the service industry, right? For example, you should be curious about, hey, how come, why is this retail shop doing better than the other retail shop? Or if you look at this advertisement, you say, why is this advertisement more effective than the other? So the huge sense of curiosity in the service industry is really necessary, because there's a lot of application of your content knowledge to real world scenarios, right? Now, what courses can you take at ITE? Essentially, EBS, you can use it, right, as one of the subjects for your calculation of the aggregate. But if you want to have a head start, right, because EBS we learn about, you know, the 3 service industries, marketing, mix, as well as customer service, right? You will definitely have a head start if you go for these two schools, schools of business and services and school of hospitality. Okay. Now, these are the 2 EBS teachers at our school, right? If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Okay, our email addresses are on this slide. Okay, that's all I have for you. Okay, thank you very much for your attention.